It is finally here, the all-new Cranky's Dockside Delivery Train Set. What a clunky title. This was revealed less than 3 months ago, back in February, and I was not expecting this to be out so quickly. This is easily the set I've been most excited for out of the assortment, and let's see if it stacks up to all of my hype. The front of the box features the same aspects that all of the new items have, with a graphic design style that I've grown very fond of. Thomas is in a plastic window at the top right, which is very different than last year's Motorized set, which featured an exposed Thomas that could become prone to theft or damage. The sides of the box feature a parts list as well as Thomas concept art. The back is what you'd expect for any Thomas set and features a brief product description, the name of the set in almost 20 languages, and character bios of Cranky and Thomas. I believe this is our first look at Cranky's 2026 concept art. The back of the box also correctly spells Brendam, which is usually misspelt on toys with an H. Here's a look at everything included in the box. And yes, unfortunately, a lot of the details are stickers, but the two on the dock piece are pre-applied. Taking a look at Thomas, he appears to be the same as the standalone release. I really like the shapes and proportions here. His lining and handrails are three-dimensional. All elements are printed on except for the front cab windows, which are stickers, while the whistle is unpainted. Sadly, there's no buffer paint or running board, which last year's toys did have. That's quite disappointing. Thomas's face is really growing on me, and I think it represents his concept art very well. The engine is powered by one singular AAA battery and is activated by a button rather than a switch. His middle wheels also do not roll. Thomas's height is right in between Playrail and the 80th anniversary size, but lengthwise he is shorter than both of them. The set includes a truck for Thomas to pull, which has a tipping feature. Not too much of note here, but additional paint would have been nice. Here's the set fully assembled. At the docks we have Cranky, who suffers from a lack of painted details, like no name board or windows. His other side features a lot of screw holes, which is a bit annoying, but not the end of the world. His face looks very close to the concept art, and I'm curious to see what he looks like in the final animation. The dockside features a lot of detail: a crate, a barrel, a rat, cargo storage, as well as 3 shipping containers. This raises an interesting question on when the new show is going to take place. While shipping containers were invented in the mid-50s, we usually associate Sodor's coastal cargo as being wooden crates. I guess that's a subject for another time. We can start Thomas's journey at the docks by loading the produce and sending him on his way. Upon releasing the stopper, Cranky automatically resets. Thomas passes a billboard welcoming visitors to the island with a stickered sign. Coming to the points, if you choose to send Thomas right, he goes down a line through a small tunnel that returns back to the docks. If you send Thomas left, he makes his way uphill to the Sodor market, where the truck automatically tips the load into a receptacle. Thomas then loops back around to the docks where you can repeat the process. The play feature is fun and engaging, but pretty prone to failure in my testing.
Bruh.
If you happen to get the cargo or anything else jammed in the chute, there's a handy door that lets you access the inside. Onto some details. I love the Sodor market with all of the stickered elements, as well as the fruit crate outside. The rear and side also feature details in the form of stickers. There are also stairs that help explain how people can make their way up to the shop, as well as a small parking space at the base of the hill. Dug into the rockwork is a cave that you can store things in, and one of the shipping containers features the new Thomas logo, as well as the welcome sign. The set includes one single adapter for Trackmaster 2, and speaking of the track system, the new one really impresses me. It's easy to put together and take apart, but it holds together extremely well. I mean, look at this. Speaking of the track, I really didn't like the idea of the multicolored track since it was utilized so poorly in the past few years. This set does it very tastefully in my opinion. The green represents the countryside and the silver the industrial docks. I like it. Trackmaster 2 engines like the 80th Thomas do work well on the set, of course incompatible with the truck. Playrail Thomas struggles a bit on the hill, but otherwise he's fine. The magnets aren't as weak as some were fearing, but not as reliable as the older style from the last 30 plus years. One complaint I do have, and I wasn't sure where to mention it, the track is a completely closed loop with no points to connect to other sets. I feel like this could have been really easily fixed by just replacing one of the curved tracks. And that's the Cranky Dockside Delivery Set. I think this is a really solid toy that captures a lot of the aspects I love from old Thomas toys. It has some notable drawbacks, but not enough to make me not recommend it. I paid $65 for this, but I do expect that its retail is going to be around $50 or so. If you're able to get it for around $40, I'd say it's worth it. I do have reviews on the new diecast Wave 1 coming in the next few days, so subscribe if you guys want to see that, and I will see you next time.